Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is, what is it today? it's it's September 4th. And what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? Well, it means my goal of having a demo. Okay, when I say demo, I'm not saying this game's nearing completion at all. I mean, another year, maybe I could say it's nearing completion, but in this first year, uh, it says the goal of this demo is to have an end-to-end piece. It's basically say that the app is an 8 lane highway, four going this way, four going that way. Maybe if it's even a 10 lane highway, you got five and five. They're big lanes. I'm trying to get one lane of information going where I have a start and a destination, which means my goal is this demo will have, well, the goal is that it would have user login, uh, team creation, at least at the very basic state, team creation, game plan setup, playbook setup, and the ability to run a game. That's it. That's it. Just run a game. Now, run a game. Now, the game part of this will have maybe not even a whole game. It's quite possibly just going to be the idea that it's going to have a players come onto the field and a kickoff with hopefully at least one play. That's the goal, and that's kind of where it would end. It may not even be a full game. It may not have full images, everything starts to lay out the way I want to. A lot of that stuff might not be there, but I want to be able to say I can create a game, set up a team, run a game, or log in, create an account, set up a team, run a game, at least to the point of a game will run. And the graphics portion of that would be players are put on the field, players go to the line, players move, but they don't have any animation. They're just going to be dragging around. Basically, I'm just going to slide them up and down the field. I have no animation set up for any of these players. Well, that's not true. I have a couple of guys have running. I think I have a running animation, which I'm not sure how that's going to work with all of my players. It works for one of my players types. So that said, it's very minimal. That's the goal of my demo. Now, a lot of these parts kind of sort of exist. In fact, but I haven't glued them together, which means a month is going to be hard pressed, and I'm really starting to think it's going to be difficult. But we will see. I'm not giving up on it until the end, until I'm 2 weeks in, and I'm like, okay, this is not going to happen. Which such is the way of life, and I'll just keep pushing. Maybe I'll get it by the end of October. But I'm not giving up just yet. Oh. All right, what am I doing wrong? Why is that not working? It's not dev? Could have swore it was dev. Package dev is not in it. Because, wait, am I in the right app? No, this is the right app. What the heck? Go. Oh, it's npm. This is what happens when you work in too many languages. You're like, you just don't, I'm not even in the right language half the time. CD, front end, go, npm, run. It's like constantly doing that where I'm like, what language am I in? What was this app written in again? Arg. So what am I on? I'm on Active Mind Gamer. All right, so let's edit this and I get rid of this because I don't like it. At some point, I got to get it so I can start putting in a thumbnail. I want to implement a simple thumbnail feature on this, and I haven't done it yet because I don't want to use the Restreams thumbnails because it watermarks them. So this is my breakfast snack, so you're going to have to bear with me while I eat my breakfast snack. Game devlog. What else do I want to put in there? It is Go. We are fantasy football. Game development. Football manager. American football. What else? Dev. Development. Planning. We'll do that. Okay. Good enough. I have no viewers, but hey, one of these days you guys will be there and ready to watch all the time, right? 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 Maybe. We'll see. Now, I know I don't have a ton of followers yet, but at some point, we'll get you. We'll get you. Because this game's going to be cool, man. So says me, in which case we all know that it's got to happen if it's me. Because I'm not going to let it fail. Whether or not the game succeeds, I mean, fail as in not happen, I really don't have any control over the success of my game. That's in your hands. You know the girl I paid for? Whoa! No, girl, you paid for. Oh, is that what's her face? It is. Check it out. I would not have thought that. Anyway, that's not what I was trying to get to. No, take it back here. Hold on. I'm trying to adjust my. I have to do this because if I don't, I will have. Hold on. How do I? Oh, here we go. Well, maybe not. Well, it should, but it's not letting me. I know, this is kind of a tedious thing. I don't like doing it, to be honest, but kind of have to because it's the only way I can make things function the way I want to. Oh, I see. I know what's going on. Okay. I am being delusional. All right. Well, I think I've got that working. And what? Wow! What? Sorry, knocking over my camera. I'm going downhill fast. My little phone charger here is like way too far pushed back. Okay. Am I here? Am I there? Am I existing everywhere? Perfect. All right, so back to it. I've updated. I'm running. Let's refresh this. Do I have? Nope. Didn't work. At least that one doesn't work. Huh. Whatever. Okay. Let's go plan some ClickUp-y stuff, right? So I'm trying, like I mentioned before, to keep my streams more focused and smaller. Doesn't mean I won't stream a good chunk of the day. I might sometimes, but I might kill them and have like 2 or 3 different streams during the day. Quantum. I didn't even quantum computing was a thing. Honeywell's Quantinium. Interesting. All right, so we're gonna go ClickUp. Actually, let's go to my other thing here. I have a planning and tracking one here. Now, what this does is open up a whole bunch of stuff that I use for my planning and tracking. Planning and tracking is everything. I don't even know, why do I have Patreon over here? That's not planning and tracking. That's like my social media. I think I have one for social media already. Yeah. Why do I have Patreon over here? Let's turn that off. Kaggle? See, yes, I get into these things. I don't even know what they are. Lucid chart. This is just me looking at other charts. I don't know about Lucid chart. I think Lucid chart is like a Gantt chart. I think Gantt charts have their place, if that's what it is. But I don't know. It just seems like more work that isn't development, right? Spend too much time on planning and you do a lot less doing. I like to keep my planning sessions at about 1 a day. I mean, 1 a week. In other words, visiting ClickUp 1 time a week. Now, that's not to say I don't actually create more tasks, but I now have my ClickUp Link app, which plugs it into my code base, and I can create tasks, edit their status, add them to my code base, all without actually going into ClickUp. But if I want my ClickUp, if I want to actually do sprints, which I'm going to show you my current status of sprints. It's kind of sad at the moment. All right, so you see I have 6 sprints here. Last one was in, was that April? I got to get back on it because it helps me to focus and say, okay, this is what I want to get done. So we're going to go ahead and create a sprint. And this one's going to be, well, obviously it's not going to be 4/4 to 4/17. Start date's going to have to be tomorrow because I've been doing them Friday. I don't know. I guess they should go to Friday to Thursday, so it's going to start tomorrow. So we're going to say Friday. Oh, it is 4/4. Okay. End date will be Thursday, 2 weeks from now. Why can't I get this to load? Oh, default duration 2 weeks. That is 4/7. That is Thursday, 2 weeks from now, right? Yeah, that's Wednesday. Oh, so if I start it, wait, today's 4/4. How come this is showing me Friday is 4/4? Oh, that's April. Oh my gosh, May, June, July, August. There we go. We'll say Friday. There we go. Perfect. Okay, sprint goal. What is the sprint goal? Let's do a sprint goal. I don't always do sprint goals, but I'm going to put one in there. The goal for this sprint is to finish base stats, base skills, and import player data with those skills. Player pool. What else do I want this sprint? I would like to get all of my stat ratings completed as well. Ratings are the numbers that are basically 1 to 99. The same thing everybody else uses, right? Some might use a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 20 but I want something significant, right? So it can be a nice big gap between the worst and the best. But the nice big gap is not going to be 1 and 99. It's more going to be like 30 or 40 something to 99. Because I don't, into the player pool and apply base ratings. And complete. I think base ratings should be easy. Overall, those should be easy because I'm just going to add scaling to them. In fact, I think I already kind of have that function. And apply base ratings. Begin definition of game implementation. How about this? Values for skills. Base skill ratings. Begin definition of game implementation values for skills. Now I'm going to have to create probably tasks for all of those skills. Again, it's just like I did, except it should be a lot simpler because all it is a scaling. Scaling just means taking the full range of values, min to max, and turning them into a number range that fits for the purposes of game function. So every skill, no matter what the rating is on a 1 to 99, is going to be squished or extended into a base skill value that's going to be used in the application of it in the game. Now in the game, those values will be compared, and they'll either deduct or add or be the goal value of success rates of any particular action in the game. So every time a play runs, there'll be a number of actions that every player takes on the field, and it's going to be their skills that determine their success or failure. A lot of that isn't going to be visually animated because I don't know to what extent I'm going to be able to get animations for everything. Like, say, a juke. A juke would be a guy who would step one way and then run the other, right? Basically, it's just it'd be like a left-right step or a right-left step. And it'd be easy. I mean, it's a simple animation, but your guy's got to look like he's kind of doing it, or at least sort of, step right, step left, step left, step right. And it's cool, but I don't know how much I'm going to get those animations done. There's a lot of animations, and I am not, like I said, not a graphics guy. So that's going to be that's where things are going to get really bogged down at a point. I'm going to eventually get all this logic in, and things are going to be kind of set. And then I'm going to have to start taking all this logic, which is now built, creating the feed into my application. And then once everybody's actually going and doing all these actions, it's going to be, and the last step is going to be, all right, well, let's animate everything now. let's start giving these guys visual feedback as to this stuff is actually happening. Because like a tackle, well, right now it just means the play stops, right? There's going to be a guy standing in his spot. He's going to be stopped. Tackle. There won't be any animation where the guys fall to the ground or anything interesting like that. There are there are plenty of games where I see where the tackle is just he runs and there's like almost no animation. I think Super Tiny Football. I think Super Tiny Football, one that I've. Oops, did I not actually click this? I think Super Tiny Football, which is an Android game, is like that, where if there's a crowd of guys there, you can barely tell he got tackled. He just got stopped. It goes beep or whatever it does, to show that you got tackled. The animations in the game are pretty good, but at that tiny position, tiny form, you can barely tell. Now, in a game like Retro Bowl, which is 2D animation, there's really running and falling. And every animation is if you're tackled, you're down. If you're diving, you're down. It might have a move in such animations. And I don't know how many other little animations are there. There's obviously the quarterback kind of walk. There's the walk backwards animation, which has got to be one of the things you're doing, right? Because that's not quite the same as turning around and going backwards. And then there's the animations that would have your guys turn around. But I don't think the game, even when your guys are moving diagonally, you're kind of just sideways on Retro Bowl. Some 2D animations will turn and let you look like you're going 3D. That's just more animations, and I don't believe there's a lot of that. But they do have special animations for like post sack, post tackle, post first down, that kind of thing. Anyways, what template am I using? Do I have a template? Nah, I don't think I'm using one. What is an alignment chart? Neutral, good. What? I don't know what half of this stuff would be. I am not a calendar to-do list. Contact list. Yeah, I don't know. It's too much junk. I don't want to do it. All right. Because this works for me. All right, so we're on this sprint. The last sprint was this one. I don't even think I closed everything from this sprint. Let's see how many of these things I actually completed though. In design work, create default playbook, seed data. I haven't created the seed data for that. Seed data is like create a default playbook, save that data as a seed file, create it into a JSON, and then import that JSON into the system when it starts the system init, which I think I do need to do, but I never finished that. So yeah, and I'm not there yet. Create play selection UI for playbook. Create play. Man, did I actually plan to do all that in the create play selection UI for playbook? Well, I do have the playbook play selection page. I guess I don't have the function. No, I guess that completed. That's done. I mean, I have it where you can select the plays. I just don't have it, the whole functionality. It just says the UI. I don't have the functionality there. I have created the UI though. Flesh out playbook base service functionality. Oh, I already got that. That's done. Create gateway endpoints for playbook. Did that. PBI auto load save update default playbook. I think auto load save update. Probably. I may end up creating a task to fix something I missed. Save playbook, which wait. No, I don't have that. This is playbook. Save and load playbook. Yeah, man, I must have really been focused on getting the playbook done, and I didn't actually get that done. Shame on me. All right. What can I do with these? I don't know what can I do with these tasks. Can I scoping details? Man, these are all in 6. Did I put all this stuff into 6? Yikes. I really overdid it. Create seed data from default game plan. I haven't done that. Create default special conditions. I've done so many other things. I just kind of got derailed. Create default special conditions. I don't even know what that is. What is that? Does that even describe what that is? Huh. Okay. What is... Oh, special conditions. Oh. That's because That's the special. It's not special teams. It's special. It's the opposite. It's the third option on your game plan. It's offense, defense, and special. Special conditions are um, all your. I haven't done that. I haven't done any of these. I did create offensive and defensive game plans, but I keep deleting them to recreate to test it some more. I got to get away from that, but that's not done either. But the special conditions are like, when do you call timeouts? When do you kick or receive? Flipping a coin. What do you call? All the little weird things that you would do as part of your game plan. And that's what special conditions are. Or special actions is almost what it should be. And I'm not sure how that differs from miscellaneous game situations. I don't think that's supposed to, I think it's supposed to be part of the same thing. But again, I didn't do any of those. Add specific play selector to favored play field. You know, honestly, I think I have that, but I'll have to confirm. It's one of those I'll have to check. All right, back. Man, I really thought I was going to get a lot done in that sprint. What the heck was I thinking? I actually added these two. Game simulation UI. Well, I have the page. So, can I move them somewhere? No. But how do I just remove them and push them back into the Okay, let's see. Let's see if this AI thing is any good. The AI has actually been pretty bad. I don't like it. How do I remove items? Unfinished. Unfinished tasks from a sprint without removing from a sprint. And going back into the to be completed later. How do I completely remove unfinished tasks from a sprint? And from sprint planning, but leave them in the planned for. They have really bad AI here. I mean, it's okay, but completely remove unfinished tasks from sprint planning so they are no longer appearing in your current sprint, but keep them available for future work. You should remove the tasks from the current sprint list. Keep the tasks in another backlog or planning list. This ensures they remain available for future sprints. In ClickUp, you can do this by moving the task to a backlog or planning list. Or if you want the task to appear in multiple places, removing it from the sprint list, but ensuring it remains in another list since tasks can belong to multiple lists in ClickUp. Okay, so the question is, how do I know where these are? how do I do that? I would, how do I specify? If it's going to make me write them down here, that's stupid. How do I specify the tasks? Let's do this. Ideally, just move uncompleted tasks back to the folders they are originally. Oh, didn't scroll. If you want to move all uncompleted tasks from the current sprint, you don't need to list them individually. I can identify all the tasks in the sprint that are not marked as completed. Move tasks to the original folders. ClickUp does not automatically track the original folder of a task if it has been moved between lists. However, if the tasks were added to the sprint as additional lists, not moved, it may still be linked to the original folders. In that case, you can remove the task from the sprint list. Remove the task in the sprint list. That will remain. Next steps. Would you like me to move all uncompleted tasks out of the current sprint and back to the original list if possible? Yes. Please move them back to original lists if possible. I'm just undoing them. I'll add them and deal with them as I go now. Because I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, that's a lot of freaking, how complicated, wow, that is a lot of coding I thought I was going to get done in 2 weeks. I don't know what the heck delusion had me going that way. I mean, geez, just doing a task has taken me a day sometimes, much less. I mean, to be fair, some of them have taken me, only an hour or so. Some of them less than that. But some of them, like, way more, like a day or two, because I had to figure out the logic and the source and how I was going to do that. Turned out to be way more complicated. But that said, I have a lot of freaking tasks on here. Create a default game plan. Okay, so that only takes maybe 30, 40 minutes to create a default game plan if my game plan stuff is working, which it is. But then I have to actually create logic that's going to take that data from the database and turn it into a default database, a default game plan, which means I could potentially, let's see, all uncompleted tasks from your current sprint have been moved back to the original list. This means they are now available in their respective backlog or planning list for future sprints and can be re-added to the sprint planning when ready. If you like, I can remove these tasks from the current sprint list. Yes. Please remove. I mean, I could leave them and just call them unfinished. What is the norm process? Should I leave unfinished tasks in the sprints? I mean, I'm trying to think. Hmm. Trying to think of whether or not I should, move these or not. So I've got two things going on in my head, so that's why I get a little derailed sometimes. So I apologize if I jump tracks and go back to what I was doing. But ultimately, I'm just trying to decide on the best route. I've got to learn my limitations. I don't know what the heck. I mean, look at all the stuff I had in there. Get next play result, run game function, coach AI component. Okay, some of that stuff is finished, but I doubt I got it all done in that sprint. Game simulation UI. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Game simulation UI is a big animal. So all I can think of is it's referring to like, that must have been a reference to just having the page come up. Just what is the UI? And I kind of have that. I mean, I created the scene in Unity that's going to hold the game simulation. And I actually kind of have a game simulation UI even in React, which isn't a scene, but it's a page that has where the simulation is going to occur. But is that what it means? I mean, that is very generic. I think I need to be a little bit more specific about what I mean, because game simulation UI is just way too much. This should have subtasks and such on there. All right, what does it say? Move forward or remove. If a task is still important, it's usually moved to the next sprint or back to the backlog for future planning. Okay, remove them. Crossbow! All right, man. Appreciate it. I'm always glad to have people around. Okay, remove them. Since you have already put them back into the backlog. We'll see how good the AI. I mean, getting ClickUp to help with some of this stuff is great. It's actually pretty tedious to do a lot of little things in ClickUp. So, is that true? Let's see what happens if I refresh this. It should disappear, right? It says they were removed, but I didn't see anything change. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional, but I don't see any changes here. Wow. Looking at the showing sprint. Sprint 6. I still see the same 19 unfinished tasks. Are you sure? Here. I don't know what that was. All right, let's see what. Hey, the ClickUp doesn't scroll and it's telling me stuff. When a task is in multiple lists, like a sprint and backlog, simply adding it to the backlog does not remove it from the sprint. To fully remove tasks from the sprint, it must be removed from the sprint list, not just added to the backlog. What I did, I ensured all unfinished tasks are present in their original backlog planning list. They're still showing in your sprint 6 list because they have not been removed. I told you to remove them. Yes. Yes, please remove them from sprint 6. So they only appear in the backlog folder. I mean, I told it that before. All right, so it says it's doing stuff. Oh my gosh. It says, would you like me to remove them? Yes, I like you to remove them. I can't remove them. You're going to have to do it manually. Thanks. Whatever. Now, how do I know it put them back in the original list? I don't even know if it put them back in the original list. Because see, what this doesn't show me is what the original list is. So I'm a little worried about dumping these. So let's go look at the playbook. The playbook should have... See, and I can't even look at these because... All right, let's see if I can open this in another window. Can I open this in another window? Rename, copy link. See, this is the thing about... Let's see what this does. I should probably have a second window. By the way, guess what I'm doing tomorrow? I am trying out for another play. It's the same company with the same people. And I'm going to get a part. I probably am going to get the part I want. There's just not that much competition. It's really not about my being great. Although I got to say I'm not terrible. Well, considering those that I'm with. Because most of the people who are acting in this are like under 20. Literally. I mean, there might be 15 people in this play. If we get a lot of people, most likely it's going to be more like 12. It's the same 12, I think. I mean, this is a new year, so I have no idea who's going to be there. I mean, I'm hoping there'll at least be, again, at least 3 or 4 adults. But right now, I foresee there may... I mean, I'm the only adult I know of for sure. It's tough to do these things knowing I'm going to be doing it with a bunch of kids. Young adults. I won't even call them... to me, young adults are 20 to 30. And there's maybe 2 young adults that have been showing up in the last 2 plays I was in. But this is a whole summer's gone by. And honestly, I don't know if those same people will be there. Now, then there was full-blown adults. I'd say 30 pluses. There was 3 of us. So we had about 4 adults. Anybody under 20 to me is still teenager / not an adult. I know, 18 legally an adult. But, you know, not... I mean, they're very young adults. Infant adults. But... And some of them are pretty good, I guess, for their age. But there's still... A lot of these kids are going into senior year of high school. Some of them might even be... Some of the kids were actually like 15. I mean, really young. Now, the play I'm trying out for is Romeo and Juliet. And I'm going to be going for a senior part. You know, like Friar Lawrence. And really, it's just about getting the experience of doing the acting. It's kind of fun, but it's weird doing it with a bunch of kids sometimes. I wish I could get into something that had more adults. But there's really a limited opportunity to do it with actual adults. And you get paid for those. And it's also a lot more time. If I was to actually get a real part, like go for like a Village Theater or something near me, it would be awesome to get the part. But it would also be a lot more work. Because it's like, with what I'm doing now, we get like 3 months of practice. I mean, September, October, November, that's almost 4 months before the play. It's actually almost 5 months. September, October, November, December, and then most of January before we actually do the play. But it's 5 months of like 1 day a week. So what is that? 20 days? 24, 25 days plus a couple of weeks. So maybe 30 days of practice. If you get a job, if you get a part in an actual local village troupe, village theater troupe kind of thing, you're probably getting your 30 days in about 6 weeks. So yeah, you have to be done within 2 months. You've practiced, you've trained, you've memorized the whole thing, and you've done it all in like 6 weeks. And then you do the play. So you only have like 2 months before you're going live with this thing. And then, so that means you're memorizing all these plays, and you got to do it every day, and you got to keep working on all of it, and you can't just like slowly learn it. You have to learn it fast and get it all down. And before you know it, you probably got just a few weeks to get the whole thing memorized, and then you're working hard to get it, act it and get better at it and make it a good play. And then and then you have to do the show, and you're probably doing the show for at least a week or two. So, yeah, you're getting paid. You're probably getting paid okay. I mean, I guess if you're a major part, I think if you're not, even if you're not a lead, it's like $800 a week, which is better than what I'm getting now, right? 0. So, but that also means I would be taking away even more time from my work. 'Cause I'd be doing that every night or whatever it is. And it's 2 or 3 hours a night. So it's basically wipes out my evenings. And it's probably at least 3, if not 4 nights a week. And it's going to be some days you might be doing 4 or 5 hour days. So basically it's a full on job. But yes, getting paid. So there's that. I guess there's that flip off. It would slow me down in my work, but it would also mean I'm getting money, which means I can continue in my work, even if it's not as turnaroundy. But I also have to find time to keep memorizing and working on that. So even if it's only 3 hours a night, 3 nights a week, I have to work at least 30, 40 minutes, an hour a day, just memorizing and making sure I get whatever the lines are. Now, there's no saying I'd be a lead, so I could end up with a part where I'm only have to memorize 10 lines, and then I just have to show up all the time. I don't know, but if that's all it is, great. If not, not so great, I suppose. But I have managed to do a full play now twice. One where I actually had part all the way through. I was the lead. I was the main character. And so I was in it all the way to the end, and I had a lot to do. But now this Friar Lawrence, I'm not the lead by any means. I mean, it's Romeo and Juliet, right? So they're the leads. But I have a big part, though, a lot of parts. And he has at least 3 rather long, we'll call them monologues, because they're long. And he's just really long-winded character. 2 of them are really long. One of them is meaty. It's got some decent, it's about half as long as those. And then the rest are kind of just conversational. But I think I'm gonna I almost didn't do it, right? Because it's Romeo and Juliet. It's Shakespeare, and I'm not a huge fan of Shakespeare. But anyway, I know I'm derailing. I do it. I derail. That's my derail for the moment. I'll be right back. Interestingly enough, I actually did my last part, which I played Frederick Lauren from House on Haunted Hill, and I did it with an accent the whole time. I thought I did pretty good with an accent. I stuck with the accent the whole time. Was I perfect in any of the plays? I was better in some plays than others. You just never know when you're out there. You kind of let pieces of the line disappear, especially when you have a lot. You have big chunks and you leave lines out in the middle. It's better to leave lines out in the middle than leave them out at the end or the beginning, because that's what throws off your fellow actors. So that is a drawback. But all right, anyway, where was I? Let's go back. I think I wanted to see this over here. And then we're going to go back to which one was it? Planning, tracking. All right, so this is where I was. And I wanted to see if all these things actually exist. Create play selection UI for playbook. Okay, UI for playbook. And then create gateway endpoints, create default playbook seed data. Okay, so I think it is there. So if I want to remove these, in theory, I say, in theory, I should be able to just click on them. I want to see tech debt. ngrok URL domain. Okay. In theory, if I select all of these, can I remove, move, add, convert, duplicate? To remove items from my sprint. Oh, it says it should. How do I remove items from my sprint? Do I delete them? I don't like delete. Why don't they just say remove from sprint? Oh, here we go. Remove from list. Here we go. Woohoo! Wait, did I miss a few? All right, well. Oh, I did update. Okay, so we'll get rid of these two. I didn't see that. All right. So we don't have any unfinished assets. All right, so let's go over here and finish my planning. I guess I don't need to do that then. Okay, so what do I want to get done? Now, we're not working on playbooks. I am currently working on skills. So that's in players. Roster status. What is roster status? Injury status. Oh, practice squad roster availability. Update simulation to account for coaching profile. Okay, create player service. I do have the player service already. That's done. It looks like done. Okay, coaching profile players. I guess that's the thing. I haven't really done much with coaches though as a player. They are a player. Player injuries haven't gotten there. Player skills. Now I got offensive, defensive skills. Now let's go. And some of these I'll have to keep adding, but I think there's not a lot of these that aren't considered complete, I don't think. If I go here, stuff skill. That one's not marked. It's probably marked. A lot of these are marked as in test, I think. And to me, in review is like past test, and I should probably mark them as in review once I get them out of test. Right now, I have it currently set up where test is considered complete, which is not quite right. But it's because at the time I wasn't doing tests. I hadn't started creating automated tests yet. And as a result, I didn't want to have that hold me up from marking stuff off. So yeah, there's that. Let's add task. And wait, I don't want to create a task. I don't want to add a task. Man, am I that rusty? Oh, here we go. Task. No. All right, how do I add a task to a sprint? I know I've done this before. What the heck? Do I? Do I? I've just. No! Why did this suddenly get hard? It's supposed to be right here, I thought. Add task. But there's all. How come all my sprint items are at? Oh, here we go. Backlog. Okay. Nope. 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 We're doing players. Player skills. I think the defensive ones. Stuff skill. Set defensive player skills. All right, let's. Can I see this one? Update. Set defensive player skills with get punt return and get kick return. Oh. All right, let's. I think I did that, but I'm gonna add it in anyway. Just things I have to deal with. Stuff skill, and that one does not show it as complete. So we're gonna add that one. It's done. Some of these I'm just gonna put them in so I can mark them off, clean them up. Create punt return skill, which I think I did. Punt return skill and kick return skill. Which oddly enough should just go to a special teams thing, to be honest. General skills. I'm going to actually add a fourth. Like I broke up some of these things into another file. Like offensive skills actually makes up. It's also got QB skills, rush awareness. We'll add that one in as well because these are all done. I'm only marking these off because I'm putting these in because they're done. Remove scale value. This just allows me to mark them off. Remove scale value. Oh, okay. So some of these I was actually. That's the thing I have to do at a point. I don't know if I removed them yet. I do have to go create that. And then we'll add that one in. Replace speed scaling. Okay, so this is more general stuff. I was just because I got to add scaling to some of these, and I got to remove them from the process. Okay, so what I do need to do though is add a task. Let's add a task. We're going to call this one PBI. Special team skills. And then we're going to go ahead and add a task for this one. I'm going to call this one a task. Kick. Hello. Field goal kick accuracy. And task. Field goal kick. So the way I'm putting it in is I'm building kick accuracy based on distance, which already takes into account the leg power of a player. How far can they kick? Well, I guess that's not necessarily true. Because a guy can maybe he's great at kicking 60 yards. He just can't get it through the uprights. So kick accuracy might not be a reflection of power, which might be better when they're doing. So it's like attempts. If they have a lot of attempts at that distance, that means they probably have the leg. They just may not be that accurate. So, all right, we'll do a field goal kick power. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just call it kick power. Doesn't have to be field goal because kickoff. Ow! What did I do to my finger? No wonder it felt weird. I got a big old cut. I mean, it's not bleeding, but it's got blood. What did I do? Oh, it is bleeding. What the heck? I thought it was just blood. What did I do? I sliced my finger. Ow, and it's starting to hurt. What the heck did I touch to cut me? A paper cut? Just out of the blue. I was scratching my leg. Did I like, is there like do I have a razor sticking out of my leg? Oh, God. I don't know, man. All right, let's see. I'm just adding in these things that I know I can get done in this sprint. So we're going to go field goal kick accuracy, kick power. Let's see. There is another kick. Wait, what? Special team skill. Wait. Did I not? What just happened? Okay. Don't know what just happened. Task. Field goal or kick power. And task. Punt. Accuracy. Task. Punt. Do I want punt accuracy and punt power? Or do I have punt skill? See, there's a difference. You can have great power, even decent accuracy, but skill is how well do you actually apply that. And it also can consider things like hang time and that kind of stuff. So kick accuracy, which is good for field goals. Kick power is good for distance. Huh. Honestly, I don't know what's better, touchbacks or short returns. I mean, task, punt, skill, and task, kick, skill. This is what I was working on already, so some of these are partially done. So we're going to go ahead and add all these to the sprint. But that said, I don't really want to add anything else yet. Let's get these done, mark them off, set them off, get them all into a state of review. And then we should be good to go. Right. There is, close this. Oops. I'm not going to put in an effort. Yeah, they're all assigned to me. So there's only one person to assign to, so there's no real point in marking them otherwise. Filter, search, view, one more table, workload. Now, yeah, I could give them to me all as, some of these I'd consider like 1 point. Because I honestly believe like, if I was to say these are all 1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 15 points. Some of them are less than a point, but it's also, they're not all 1 point. Some of them it'll take me a second just to go in there and and mark them off. So what I need to do is make sure these have an assigned skill to them. So let's go. I think that's it. That's kind of what my plan is for this period. I would like to go in and create um, a function which I don't even know. Can I select? I haven't. Just curious here. If I go up here and if I want to add, let's say, just go here and just say I want to add. Can I pick things from my sprint? Oh, sprint progress. There we go. And this will be sprint 7. Oh, interesting. How come those aren't in? How come my sprint tasks don't show up in this list though? Test sprint task. I'm just curious what that's going to do. Because I'm not sure what it just did. Because it didn't show me all of my sprint items. It only showed me create a new one. That's all it had. Oh my gosh. Where did all the things I just did? Oh, did I not? Did I? What the heck? Didn't I just add a bunch of items to this? All right, ClickUp. You're getting on my nerves. Do I have to actually save the items I put in there? Is there like a save? Why the heck did it not? Oh my gosh. At least it kept all these, but why did it not? Why is it not keeping them? Oh, wait, what? Oh, maybe I shouldn't be adding subtasks. Ooh, if that's the case, if I can't do subtasks, technically you're right, shouldn't be. I should be taking a PBI, not a task. Which makes some of these kind of big, because PBI is really what you work on, not tasks. That's true. I should probably remove this. All right, let's take and all right, what happens if I just say add this to sprint? And then some of this is weird. Where did the remove from list go? Sprint. Well, there was a remove from list, but it's gone. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Now I'm gonna have a bunch of crap. No! It's just got way more. What a mess. See, it still doesn't show anything. Now it could, no, because I just added that. It should. I was gonna say it could be that I don't know that it hasn't refreshed. Huh. So that means everything I just put in is getting wiped out? I mean, what is going on here? Oh, wait, no. That's a new sprint. So if I go back here. Oh yeah, look at it. It's just deleting everything. How come it's not? Okay, so it kept that, but didn't keep the other ones. Still doesn't quite answer my problem. Because when I hit refresh here, is it staying? So maybe it can't use the subtasks, which is maybe fine because subtasks technically should just be your entire PBI, and I guess I was kind of going the wrong way with that. But and that just means I have a lot to do and get this finished, which is fine. I got to clean these guys up. I should get them done in this sprint. What I don't understand is why when I click on him, oh, what? No, 7. It's not showing me the tasks. I can create a task. Another test task. And I'm not doing that. And then I can go here. It says it did put another test task in there, but what do I do? I'm gonna try something here. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I need to do a refer. Okay, what is going on? No, that's still here. Never mind. thought it deleted my stuff again. Never mind. I'm letting myself get flustered about something that didn't happen. Alright, so we're going to increase this guy. And at some point my ClickUps will load as I stretch this out. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of the planning of the week. The idea is to finish all those skills. And then hopefully I can move on to something new, maybe even add an item to the list. But I got to get through all the skills first. And I am done with most of them. I mean, most of those items were completely checked off. Probably would have been better to create PBIs that were in sections, like, 3 or 4 tasks per. Like maybe running back skills and QB skills and then do each one separate. Now, I do have a QB skills file that has a lot of QB skills on there, but they were all under offensive skills, which would have been too many skills to say I'm going to do in 2 weeks because it was a lot of skills. So there is something weird about the way sprints are loading because it's not loading all of them. It's only loading like one. I don't know why it's doing that. So obviously ClickUp. My ClickUp link is a little off. So I wonder if I went to here and went to my, oh, nope, I guess I'm going here. And then go to players, player skills. And then we go to special team skills. And see, this is all loading up fine. I can't actually add those on here though, because this is not the right place. But I was just trying to think of, like, I put all the special team skills in, and if I put kick skill, what is this? Special team skill, kick skill. All right, so if I go there, and then I say, we'll move this over to in development. and we'll say it's assigned to me. Why not? Then I'm curious if my sprint will show it correctly. What I could do something is like put the top level task. Oh, it did. It updated it. So if I know a skill, I wish I could do it from the PBI, but apparently it's not letting me select from the PBI for whatever bizarre reason. I can add new items, but if it's apparently a link, there's probably a ClickUp link thing that I'm doing that's like, for whatever reason, items I'm adding to the sprint are showing up different. So that's a ClickUp link thing to fix. I can maybe go into my ClickUp link here. And we'll go to bugs. Is that a bug? I don't know what that is. We'll call it a minor. I think I can get it done in a day, right? That's a 1 day fix, right? Right, everybody? Bug. Sprint. Tasks linked to sprint are not showing in sprint list. Let me see here if let's go over. I know this is a little bit of a detour while I'm wrapping up planning. This is pretty much it for my planning for today. So I'll probably be closing this up. Chat GPT. And then I want to ask, I have a ClickUp extension that I created that links tasks to code, and you can select those tasks via a Code9's breadcrumb tree. Breadcrumb link. However, it seems sprint tasks do not show up in the list of sprint that differs from tasks created in the sprint. Some key distinctions that may explain why your extension isn't seeing the sprint tasks. Sprint add-on versus list location. If you create a task inside a sprint list, its list ID is the sprint list ID. You'll see it when you query the task from the list. If you just add a task to a sprint from elsewhere via the sprint add-on UI, the task stays in the original list. Yeah, the list ID doesn't change. Instead, a custom field entry gets set. If you're only querying the list ID, like get list, blah, 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 you'll miss the linked sprint tasks that live in other lists. To capture sprint linked tasks, you'll need to either query the sprint endpoint or query broader scopes, folder space team, then filter on the sprint's custom field. Sprint custom fields Sprint add-on tasks are usually tagged with hidden Sprint custom fields. ClickUp manages this. If you dump the task JSON, you should see something. Oh, so in short, tasks in Sprint list retrievable directly via that list API. Task link requires Sprint API or filtering by custom field. They won't show up in the Sprint task. All right, so let's take this stuff, copy that. We'll go over to my new task. I'll just put this in the description. All right. Good. All right. Well, that's it for planning. Now to get some work done. I'm going to go ahead and stop this stream, and I will begin work on these actual tasks so I can knock them off. And I think, at least right now, I can just select them out of the sprint list. What I will probably have to do is, I can't manage my sprint in my ClickUp link other than to select the item. So there's that. What I should probably do though is, let's go ahead and do one more thing. I didn't do this before. Add backlog. I'm going to go back to player skills. I'm going to go ahead and add offensive skills. I'm going to try, these should all get finished right now. I mean, really, there's nothing here that shouldn't get done. So we're going to go ahead and add this to, we're going to add this to the sprint and offensive skills to the sprint. And I already have special teams in the sprint and general skills in the sprint. So now that I know that they're linked and it's not going to show them, I'll have to just go to those items. But hopefully I can knock them all off fairly simply by just checking them. I will have to add more, I have a feeling, because I don't think I have all of my items accounted for. But at least now I know why. And effort, 5 tasks missing effort. Can I assign a bunch of efforts at once? What is effort? Effort's not even on this. I clicked to see the, how do I mark the effort on these? How to call them. Sprint points. What is it sprint points? Well, okay, so I think the effort to clean that up is going to be a 1 or a 3. We'll give them a 3. General skills, I'll just mark them all as 3. This one here, I'm in progress, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it as 3 also. And this thing just needs to be deleted because that doesn't actually exist. All right, 12 points of effort. Woo! That's it. Hey, man, how's it going? So, all right, Crossbow, I know you just got back, but I'm trying to keep my sprint or my streams in succinct plans. So this way I can either edit the videos later if I so choose and turn them into smaller things like TikToks or just smaller edited videos of what I did. But also because they're easier to manage at smaller sizes. Plus, if I'm changing over topics, like right now I completed planning, I'm going to stop this. And then I'm going to come back later and actually start work in my code. So I am, but I'm going to probably be doing this like when I get into my regular flow of things, which I'm hoping is very soon, is I'm going to be doing streams like 2 or 3 times a day, varying code. I don't know what I did, but I sliced my finger. I mean, I was sitting here. I don't know what I did. Yeah, either that, I don't know. I sliced my finger. It's bleeding. So I got to go deal with that too. I have nothing around me that's sharp, so I have no idea how I did it. It's just got a slice and it's bleeding. It's like the skin, and it looks like it's pretty deep. And it even kind of hurts. Anyway, I will be back probably at least 2 or 3 more times. Today's going to be a steady work day, but each one will be just smaller streams. I predict right now I'm going to be gone for about 30 minutes while I go get some food, get ready for the day, put on some normal day clothes. And until then, God bless.